All right, we're on to chapter 48 of Genesis. I wanted to go to the last sentence. Was Jacob 47 um, was Jacob insisting that he be buried where his ancestors were, and it says so. Joseph gave his oath, and Jacob bowed in worship as he leaned on his staff. Did he bow like to Joseph, or was he bowing like he was worshiping? Bowed in worship. I guess he was worshiping. Sorry, I don't know why I apologize. It's just thoughts. Shouldn't apologize. Just trying to figure that out by saying it out loud. So, Genesis chapter 48. Jacob blesses Manasseh and Ephraim. One day, not long after this, word came to Joseph that his father was failing rapidly. So Joseph went to visit him. He took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Jacob heard that Joseph had arrived, he gathered his strength and sat up in the bed to greet him. Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. He said to me, I will make you a multitude of nations, and I'll give you this land of Canaan to you and your descendants as an everlasting possession. Now I am adopting as my own sons these two boys of yours, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born here in the land of Egypt before I arrived. They will inherit from me just as Reuben and Simeon will. But the children born to you in the future will be your own. The land they inherit will be within the territories of Ephraim and Manasseh. You know, I'm starting to learn what the patriarch means. My grandfather has used that before. I've heard some other families say that before, but to my grandfather, it means something to him to be in the patriarch. So when I hear this, he's getting blessings to people. He's telling them, this is yours, and whatnot, yada yada. So back then, it was big time that you were head of household or head of your family. I never really thought much into that at all. I always just wondered why people had that head of family, and I'm just like, family's family. You know, we're here to be with each other and whatnot. So it's just interesting to hear that. So on to the as I was returning from Paddan, Rachel died in the land of Canaan. We were still on the way, just a short distance from Ephraim, that is Bethlehem. So with great sorrow I buried her there beside the road of Ephrath. Then Jacob looked over at the two boys. Are these your sons? He asked. Yes, Joseph told him. These are the sons God has given me here in Egypt. And Jacob said, Bring them over to me, and I will bless them. So Jacob was half blind because of his age, and he could hardly see. So Jacob brought the boys close to him, and Jacob kissed and embraced them. Then Jacob said to Joseph, I never thought I would see you again, but now God has let me see your children too. Joseph took the boys from their grandfather's knees, and he bowed low to him. Then he positioned the boys so Ephraim was at Jacob's left hand and Manasseh was at his right hand. But Jacob crossed his arms as he reached out to lay his hands on the boy's head. So his right hand was on the head of Ephraim, the younger boy, and his left hand was on the head of Manasseh the older. Then he blessed Joseph and said, May God, the God before whom my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life, and the angel who has kept me from all harm, May he bless these boys. May they preserve my name and the names of my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac, and may they become a mighty nation." But Joseph was upset when he saw that his father had laid his right hand on Ephraim's head, so he lifted it to place it on Manasseh's head instead. "No, father," he said, "this one here is older. Put your right hand on his head." But his father refused. "I know what I'm doing, my son," he said. "Manasseh, too, will become a great people, but his younger brother will become even greater. His descendants will become a multitude of nations." So Jacob blessed the boys that day with the blessing. The people of Israel will use your names to bless each other. They will say, May God make you a prosperous as Ephraim and Manasseh." In this way, Jacob put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Then Jacob said to Joseph, "I'm about to die, but God will be with you, and I will bring you again to Canaan, the land of your ancestors, and I will give you an extra portion beyond what I have given your brothers, the portion that I took from the Amorites with my sword and bow." So you think of this of Jacob and Esau. Is this the Jacob and Esau story where Jacob gets blessed because, or someone gets blessed because they're younger, but they were tricking the person? So was Jacob that person? That comes to mind in my head. Like Jacob was the one who tricked Esau and his dad, apparently. So it's almost like he's learned from it, and he's like, "Yep, this is what I'm doing here. I'm gonna bless both of them, but in different ways, and have the youngest one be the leader and whatnot." So that's the end of chapter 48. The next chapter is about Jacob blesses his sons, but we'll get onto that with the next video.